What are we called? There we go. I had to turn the thing off. I had all my stuff open, to fix the thing. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Welcome to episode 2 of Bad Plans, where we make the worst plans ever, and just over and over again, and things just keep continually go wrong forever. No, we are in our second week, and we've almost already killed one of our players. That's a great start. You guys are really impressing me so far. We rolled 4 natural ones in the first episode. One of the players is about to be we'll get to the recap in a second, but it's not good.
Is about to what?
Only chance will tell. But yeah, so we are live every Wednesday night right here on Twitch at 9 p.m. Central, so make sure to tune in. Please follow the channel. We are trying to reach affiliate, and we are darn close. So if you wouldn't mind hitting the follow button if you're not already, that helps us out a lot. We also have a Discord, which you can find by typing !Discord. So come join the server. We wish we could play every single day, but we can't. So we geek out all week long talking about the game, talking about general D&D stuff. There's lots of pictures of pets for some reason, so that's fun. So come hang out. We also post all the videos on YouTube. So if you can't watch it live, you can find us on YouTube. Just search for Bad Plans. You'll find us. You'll find our awesome dice logo. It's pretty easy to find the channel. Subscribe there too. That also helps us out a lot as we, try to get this thing off the ground. And we really appreciate you guys. Everybody who's here right now, everybody who was here last week, thank you so much. It is awesome. It means a lot to us. We are not in chat as we're playing, but we are doing sort of a midweek. What did we decide we were going to call it? I guess
No, we're going with whatever you call it, Jay.
Yeah.
Midweek.
So this is the start of the week. Wednesday night is when the week begins when we play. But on Sundays, right? Sundays?
Saturdays.
Saturdays, Sundays, yeah.
It could be either.
Could be either, yeah.
It might be a little variable depending on what's going on. But on one of the weekend days, we do basically an after show where we just come on, we do a Q&A, we answer your questions, we give each other a hard time, we talk about the game. It's actually a lot of fun. So stop by for that as well. And I think that's all the random stuff I wanted to say. Does anyone else have any non-game stuff they want to shout out before we get going?
Nope, not for me.
No. I have to know what happens next.
I know.
I'm delaying it as long as possible just to make everybody
ready for this next
make
turn.
everybody
We're
wait.
done.
Okay, well, recap from last week. So, the party arrived in the coastal village of Portsmouth, a derelict city on the south side of the Gulf of Serpents. They had been sent there by a man named Cimarron Steelhammer. He's the leader of a city to the north known as Great Haven, and he had tasked the party with going south to Portsmouth by ship to help them with a problem they had. He was a bit light on details. You didn't exactly know what you were getting into, but you had also been asked to leave the city because in this world that we're in, the world of Lydian, we are about 90 years after an absolutely devastating plague wiped out the vast majority of the citizens of this world. And magic use of any kind, whether it's arcane magic or magic, given to you by a deity as a cleric or a paladin, or magic from a warlock patron, or wild magic, any magic at all, is seen in this world as sort of there's a lot of superstitious folk who don't trust it, they don't quite understand it, and a lot of them think it is the actual cause of the plague. So you guys had a tough time as magic users in this larger city of Great Haven, and before a spark could become a flame, Cimarron decided he could send you guys away to go help with this other problem in this town of Portsmouth. So you were on the ship for about 2 weeks. You got to you had some scuffles with some pirates. You stumbled upon sort of a crescent moon-shaped key, an island, where you discovered this strange ancient artifact, which almost killed one of you again. Common theme. But you managed to survive. You made it to Portsmouth, where you were greeted on the docks by a young man by the name of Sparrow. With he's the town bard. He's got a wooden leg. He's got just a really sort of cheery disposition. He was super, super excited to meet you guys. and he wants to write stories about you. He wants to hear all about your adventures. He's barely left you alone since you arrived. But he did escort you to ultimately the place where you were trying to go, which was a tavern known as the Sleeping Savior, where you met the innkeeper there, whose name is Emmy. She's a half-elven woman.
Yeah.
Vinadil instantly fell in love and was just smitten by the bright, red-haired Emmy, who makes an incredible loaf of bread and some really, really good bacon, which Thorcum also really, really enjoyed. You guys were there for a little while, got settled in upstairs. There was some ass slapping, some thievery, some couple of those natural ones found their way into just right in the beginning of the game. There, it was great. You'll have to go watch that episode. Then you made it back downstairs to the tavern, where you were greeted by Remus. Remus is the alderman of Portsmouth. He's the man in charge, and he's the one who sent for help. And he asked you guys to help Portsmouth reclaim an island a few miles off the coast, where there is an old dwarven mine. At least that's what the records say. The ancient records from the pre-plague era say that a few miles off the coast, the island of Thunderstone is a place where there's a lot of great resources to be had, and they are running extremely low on those resources. So he asked for some help, but before he could even really finish talking to you guys, there was some shouting, and you guys ran out of the tavern and headed down to the docks, kind of the main harbor area of Portsmouth, to find that there was a bunch of undead creatures had crawled out of the harbor, just drowned, bloated bodies, some of them human, some of them barely human, these sort of almost aquatic undead sea creatures. But one of them in particular, a massive, probably 12-foot tall, just mound of just dripping mud and kelp and bits of coral and barnacles and old just just strange debris sort of bound up into this one massive thing that was just shambling onto the beach and attacking some of the fishermen. You guys ran down there as heroes do. You jumped into the fray, and that is where we left off. Jeshi, you had jumped right in to protect a dwarven fisherman who was sort of fending this thing off with literally a stick, and had thrown yourself in front of it. And what you got in return was literally swallowed by this creature. You are now inside the middle of this 12-foot tall mound of kelp and just sort of squishy, gross, disgusting mud. You can't see anything. You can't breathe. All you hear is just like the strange, almost like you're underwater, as this creature has started to now retreat back into the harbor, having found its meal. Kins, you, thinking quickly, turned into a polar bear and dove into the water to try to stop the thing, but you've yet to be able to stop it. Everybody's kind of looking around. You've only been at battle for less than a minute, but it's already gone very sour. Everyone's looking around, worrying what's going to happen to Jeshi. And that is where we're going to pick up. Does anyone have any questions? Need any clarification? Need anything before we get going?
No, what's the plan, Thorcum?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. We all stare at Thorcum.
Save me. Save me.
Like the Brady Bunch. All right. We doing this, Jay?
It's your turn, Thorcum.
Okay. So I am going to invoke a little cinematic advantage. Not to gain advantage on a roll or anything. Just to leave what I do next up to your interpretation. So
I like where this is going already.
I am going to map this out. I have 25 feet of movement. So I'm going to move my dude right here. And I'm going to hold my action. Next, on 14's movement, he's going to move behind me. I'm going to give him my bonus action, and he's going to shove me, and which I will let him do willingly. Another 5 feet. That puts me in 30 feet of Jeshi, and I'm going to cast Enlarge on Jeshi.
Oh.
Oh no.
Interesting.
So, what the spell does, the 2 main points, is it doubles the size of the target. So Jeshi will go from a medium to a large, and his weight will go 8 times of what he weighs right now. Also, he'll get advantage on all strength checks and 1d4 extra damage on his attack rolls.
Yes.
The interpretation part, the cinematic advantage part, is like, what happens to the mound as I enlarge him? There are some restrictions, and this is what I have to leave you up to your interpretation. The spell clearly says that if there's not enough room to grow, the creature stays the same size, but I'm thinking this thing is pretty spongy.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Pretty spongy.
Pretty spongy. Yeah. It's not like you're inside encased
A
in
box.
stone here. You know, this is like just plant life and random, you know, flora just all bound together by some strange magic. Okay. Cinema, just for for the audience, for chat. So cinematic advantage is a homebrew rule that we use, where if a player describes just something super awesome and cinematic, then in a lot of cases it can get them advantage on the roll, which it typically means they get to roll twice and take the higher one. We've never done cinematic advantage for this type of thing, so we'll see how it goes. The interesting thing about cinematic advantage, though, is it's a risk. It's a risk reward. So you do something super awesome in exchange for advantage, but it doesn't always work, and it can backfire. So,
Yeah, but
Vinadil.
it's not gonna backfire.
Vinadil, you are locked in melee combat around the corner of the house with this sort of undead creature. And all of a sudden you see Thorkum just run by you, and you see at the same time 14, his giant robot construct, runs up behind him, and you see Thorkum start to slow down, but he doesn't really lose his momentum. And 14 just takes one of his arms and just shoves him forward. And you're just very confused as Thorkum just goes flying by. And Thorkum, you land on your hands and knees, prone. So you're currently prone, but you're in range. It works. You got close enough. You see your friend barely. You barely see him. You can see a little bit of his bushy red hair, his little dwarf afro kind of sticking out. You're not, in fact, you're not even sure if that's a piece of coral, but it looks like the tone of orange that you're used to seeing. So, but it's your last chance. He's gone. He's after all this travel, this is how he goes? No. You reach out and you cast the spell. Jeshi, you start to feel very strange. You start to feel very... You can't see anything. You're blinded. You're suffocating. You're restrained. You can't move a muscle. But all of a sudden you feel this pressure. You feel this really strange sensation as even tighter than you were being consumed before. The creature must be swallowing you, or maybe it's digesting it. You don't know what's happening, but you just feel this really uncomfortable pressure. I need you to roll 2d6, please.
Okay. Let me just do that by typing. Eight.
8. You take 8 crushing damage as you are slowly expanding inside of this creature. And a few moments pass by, and you start to see a bit of light as this creature's skin, if you can call it that, starts to tear, and you hear this. You hear this disturbing sound of this sort of slurping, sort of like suction-y kind of tearing sound, as you guys all watch as suddenly the top half of this creature just sort of rips in half, and just kelp and like plants go flying everywhere as you see Jeshi just like just like emerge, this monstrous dwarf but only from the waist up, as you see that the top half of this creature has basically exploded, and just like stuff goes everywhere and mud flings Thorkum like a bunch of like pieces of kelp like land kind of at you're kind of on your hands and knees panting from the sprint, and there's like these weird pieces of like plant life are like crawling, you know, like the zombie hand in the zombie movie that like crawls with its finger, like the plants are still moving. Jeshi, you are now from about the waist up free of this creature and just massive in size. You've never felt anything like this. You're huge, but your legs are still stuck in this thing and it's not moving. It has stopped moving as you feel your weight start to sink into the mud and silt in the harbor. You now weigh so much that you are starting to sink as if you're in quicksand.
I think there's like a non-trivial amount of time where Jeshi wonders if he himself is now the swamp monster.
I am the monster.
The creature is still alive. And it is still engulfing you, but you are free from the waist up. And you can tell that it is still trying to walk out to sea as if it doesn't even understand or know or even notice what has happened to it. But you can tell it is incredibly damaged, and it is basically still trying to like walk you out. So you're still technically grappled by the creature, which you can try to escape from with advantage now that you're enlarged. But you are also sinking like rapidly, like a stone into the harbor. So nice. That was freaking cool, man.
Hey,
I kind of got you, buddy.
thanks.
You told us Saturday you had a plan. I did not think about that one. That was not
Guys,
on
I'm
the
not
list.
feeling great.
Oh yeah,
That's all
that's
right.
right. Those 8 points were probably significant, huh? Yeah.
I am in between you and everything else, bud. I'm expecting to get attacked. Oh, Jay, I moved away from a creature. You need to give it a swat at me.
You're absolutely right. Thank you. It is going to take a swat at you, and it rolls an 18 to attack,
That's my AC.
and it hits you for 6. So that's part of why you stumble forward, and you like barely maintain your sort of like your uprightness. And by the time 14 shoves you from behind, you just go tumbling through the sand towards the docks. Meanwhile, one of the undead creatures who is up near the top has rushed down to the nearest target that it can see, which is Belrissa, and it comes up behind you, Belrissa. And it is going to multi-attack you.
Okay.
First attack is a 19 to hit.
That hits.
It's going to hit you for 17
What?
as it just literally runs towards you, and just you don't even notice it because of all the crazy stuff. Your attention is focused towards the water, where like, you know, you have no idea what's happening because you can barely see around the edge of this house. And this thing runs up behind you and just bites you in the kind of like right across the shoulder, and it hurts real bad. The second attack, it like rips a piece of your flesh out of its shoulder and then tries to swipe at you with its claws, just but you sort of spin around and you manage to like flip an elbow up and parry its claw attack, and it misses you. And that is going to end its turn. Next up, we have this guy who is going to charge down to right here, and is going to chase Thorcum, seeing an easy target lying on the ground. So Thorcum is prone, which means this thing's going to have advantage on its attack. It is going to just slam its body into you. That is a 16, which
It
I don't think
misses.
hits you. Yep, so even with advantage, it misses. That's going to end its turn. That brings us to the top of the round. Vinadil.
All of that in one round. All right. Could I hear Belrissa getting attacked around the corner?
What's your passive perception?
Passive perception is
The answer's
13.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes. Okay.
You hear it.
Okay.
Just a little scream around the corner.
All right. With that, and with the monstrosity now growing out of the plant monster and the giant polar bear, I'm gonna disengage from this guy. And move here. 30. And then attempt to shoot this guy. It's on Belrissa.
Okay. He is behind a short little wall.
That wasn't me. Okay.
That was me. I lost concentration on bless.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
So bless is gone, for everybody's knowledge.
Okay, so his AC goes up a little bit.
He has a slight bonus to his AC because he's partially obscured by that little half wall.
Okay. I'm still gonna try to shoot him
Okay.
with my crossbow. Oh, nope, that's a 13 to hit.
13. Let's check this guy. That hits.
Ah,
That does
Yay.
all right, 13 to hit. That's 17 damage.
17. Excellent. Okay.
Zombies are squish.
That guy's dead.
Oh,
Yes.
So, Belrissa, you swing around just as this thing. You can literally see its blood is your blood is dripping from its just like fanged, sort of like reptilian teeth, and suddenly a crossbow bolt just sort of pins its lower jaw up into the side of its face, and it just sort of falls back over, dead. You turn around and see.
Thank you, Finn.
I think that's the first one we've killed. Like,
Hey.
I don't think
Yay.
we've killed one yet. Like, my goodness. All right.
Ooh.
All right.
We should frame it and hang it on the wall.
That's right.
First kill.
First kill in the inn. It'll go above the mantle.
Okay, Vin, as you kind of like are you're sort of facing up towards the hill as you're looking up in that direction, and you see, you hear first, and Thorcum, you hear it as well. As you look kind of around, you hear a bunch of yelling, and you recognize one of the voices. It's Remus. You can hear him yelling as he's making his way back down the alley. He sort of disappeared when you guys first got here, and you guys were a little confused, kind of like, where he went and what happened there. And he is running down the sort of the sloped dirt road down to the alley, and you can see behind him he's got 5 or 6 villagers with him, and you can see that they all appear to have weapons. Some of them have bows kind of already, with knocked arrows, and a couple of them have long spears, and you recognize one of them as the half-orc woman who was down here when you guys first arrived. So it looks like they've regrouped and they're kind of running back down, and you hear Remus as he kind of runs down into the alley, and he's just shouting orders, and you hear him say, he says, "Kith, right flank, Philip, left, focus fire on the bit." What the? And he looks down, and Jeshi has just pulled his axe back out, and they're all sort of like they have this holy look on their faces. Jeshi, it's your turn. What do you want to do, sir?
What is happening? You just see a big hand just go like, oh, boom, and I heal myself for 30.
Heal yourself
That's
for
funny.
30. Wow, nice. I feel better.
Oh man. Hey, there's Kins. And so that was my action, and I don't want to use a bonus, so that's it. Because I'm
Okay.
grappled.
Great. All right, Jeshi is feeling a little better. That's going to be your turn. Belrissa, you're up.
All right, I'm just gonna come out a little bit more, like right here, and then I'll shoot. I'll Eldritch Blast this guy many times.
The big guy? Which guy? Are you
Yeah,
blasting?
the big guy.
Okay.
Jeshi guy.
Try not to roll a 1.
Okay, so as part of the cinematic thing that we did, this creature is barely visible because the bottom half of it is sort of all that's left, if you can kind of visualize this.
Okay.
And the top half of it is Jeshi, who's like stuck in it. Imagine he's waist deep in quicksand where he can't move his legs, and the whole thing is sinking down into the water, and you can barely see it. So I'm gonna give you disadvantage if you want to attack the creature itself.
Oh.
because you can't really see it that well. It's mostly underwater.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I'll take the disadvantage.
You can't stop Belrissa.
And I hexed this guy,
Big
right?
bad.
Is that what that little symbol is there? I'm pretty sure. I know I hexed someone.
Which one?
The squishy guy.
Oh, no, that was Oh
No,
yeah,
yeah.
no, you're right.
Yeah.
You did. You
Yeah.
definitely hexed him.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Oh yeah, right. It's the other symbol, not the one. Okay.
There you go.
We're all big.
Okay. There's one. Oh, 10 to hit.
10 to hit on the big guy is not going to do it. Just double checking that. Nope.
All right. Next one. And oh shoot! It was not a 10.
It was an 11.
It was an
It
11.
was
yeah,
an 11.
your-
Was the lowest for that one, and then did 11 hit?
Nope.
Okay. And then the next one, the lowest was 16 to hit.
That will hit. 16 does hit.
All right. And that is 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay, excellent.
Whoa.
And yeah, I'm going to burn 2 sorcery points because I feel like time is of the essence here.
Burn them.
Burn them.
So that what does that allow you to do?
That
for-
allows me to cast cast 2 spells, 2 cantrips. It's for I forget what it's called.
twinning. Is it twinning?
It is not. It's quicken.
Quicken.
Spell.
Yes. There you go.
So that's a 9 to hit. So that's not going to hit.
No, sadly not.
And 18.
That was a good one.
plus
Yeah, there's a
4.
chance. Oh my gosh.
What was it? 11?
11.
Oh.
Yep.
No, sadly not. Just so you guys know, I turned off the 3D dice on the map that chat can see because it was causing all sorts of weird like visual glitches. The screen kept flashing white and stuff because of that, so they can't see what you're rolling. So it would probably be nice if you just call out,
Okay.
call out what your roll is when you do it.
Roger that.
Okay. Was that my second? That was my second class
Yes.
Yeah.
of the
yeah.
second round. Yeah, that was bad.
Not great. You did hit it once though.
Yeah.
So you start to shoot these eldritch. You're like double barrel, eldritch blasting, one out of each hand, and or at least that's what I'm picturing. Correct me.
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
But they're sort of skipping across the surface of the water, almost like stones. Jeshi, as you sort of like
Hey,
you see,
whoa.
Belrissa has a let's just say Belrissa has a reputation for these blasts going a little rogue from time to time. So you instinctively
Trying to
like
catch the fourth one.
Still learning.
and they just sort of skip kind of like underneath your arm. And one of them lands though. Very nice. Do you want to move or do a bonus action?
That was my bonus, so no, I'm not going to move. I'm going to stay kind of tucked around this corner here.
All right, you got it. Okay, next up is this guy right in the middle here, who's going to rush down to what? There's just a big old dwarf laying on the ground, ready for eating. So it just charges up, and let me take a quick look at this guy.
Hey, you leave him alone.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. All right, so multi-attack on a prone Thorcum, which is going to give him advantage. First attack is a 14, which is not
Misses.
going to do it. Second is a 22, which I believe does hit.
Reaction shield.
All right.
So my AC is now 23.
All right, so that misses.
Mark off another spell slot.
So this thing, seeing what it thinks is easy prey, just sort of lurches down and tries to bite you, and you manage to just like shoulder its jaw out of the way, kind of cracking it a little bit in the process. And it reacts by swiping down and you sort of like opened up your chest a little bit as you reacted the first time, and it's going to be a clear hit, but all of a sudden an ethereal shield just sort of appears and just deflects the thing away, and it stumbles back all confused looking, and that's going to end its turn. Next up is going to be this lone zombie up top, who's going to rush down and attack 14 because it's a dumb zombie. It doesn't know any better. And it's going to basically just body check 14 from behind as it slams into it. And it rolls a 21. It's not bad. And it hits you for 3.
Boom. Metal.
All right. Next up is the kelp creature's turn.
Oh,
You don't know what
no.
this thing is. You don't know where it came from. You don't know what its deal is.
It came from the water.
Yeah. Actually, okay, this thing's half blown to pieces and it's underwater. What? You are still technically engulfed by it. So,
Okay. So I would like to say one thing. I didn't interrupt last time.
Mhm.
So there's 2 things you said that made me think of this plan. One, that I could see Jeshi. And when you slammed him, you said medium or small target
mhm.
is engulfed. He is now one size greater as a large.
Oh, snap.
You are right.
But my legs are only a medium.
You are right.
I
But this
skipped
is where
leg day.
if this is the rules, I'm going.
Okay,
a
yeah.
little bit like that. Okay, because his legs are medium sized, and they're still engulfed by this creature.
Biceps.
And so
Can I
not
make a
one to
suggestion?
skip leg day. He no, yes. What is it?
Contest of strength?
He's got advantage on that, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
It's funny how you would want that to.
Wisdom.
No, let's see here. I mean, this is an acute situation, guys. What is this thing going to do here? It's underwater. It can't move because of the weight of Jeshi is basically pinning it down into the silt below. It's just slowly
still has
sinking into
sanctuary.
the mud. Jeshi has sanctuary on him. I think this thing would try to just constrict what's left of its grip on Jeshi with its remaining plant lower half of its body. So we're gonna go ahead and trigger the engulf ability, which Jeshi, that's a con save for you.
Incoming. 7.
7.
Success.
Okay. No, it isn't.
No.
I love how you're like,
Yeah!
So optimistic.
Oh, my legs.
oh no.
You know what it feels like? Have you ever gone rappelling?
No.
Like
The
when your harness is like
Yeah.
squeezing your inner thighs, and you're just like, wow, that's the most uncomfortable thing imaginable.
Oh no.
Yeah, Jeshi, you take 13 squeezing damage, bludgeoning damage, as your legs are just being constricted, and it's just like the worst feeling as the damage happens. The other thing that happens is it's going to. No, it's not. That's it. It has no body left. It can barely manage what just happened. It's just like this deteriorating mass of flora that is just like barely surviving at this point. It's done. Kins, you witness
Yeah.
this as Jeshi just sort of like starts to. All of this is happening right in front of you. You're covered in this muddy, like plants just like sprayed you in the face like a bad horror movie. You're just like your whole polar bear body is now just all gross and muddy, and you're like wiping kelp out of your eye with your big polar bear paw. What do you want to do?
Kins is gonna try to help Jeshi get freed / try to, I don't know, eat or claw. I don't know what she wants to do in terms of, does this look edible to her? I don't know. But she's gonna multi-attack this kelpy goop of nonsense. So I'm gonna try to claw first. Okay. That is wow, that was the same roll. 26 to hit
Yes.
and 14 damage.
14 damage. Okay. It is one of Jeshi's leg is freed as you basically just tear through kind of what's barely left of this creature.
Sweet. Okay. Second part of the attack is the bite, which is 50 or sorry. 50. It's the first number, right? 15 to hit.
15, double checking. That hits.
All right. 12 damage.
It is dead.
Yay!
So, in her polar bear form, she dove into the water and kind of came out. And boy, did that help, because you were able to sort of submerge yourself, because polar bears can swim so well, and just tear at this thing under the water. And Jeshi, it's like the combination of like it squeezed your legs and it was like the worst feeling, and then all of a sudden they're free and it's the best feeling. You're still sinking into the silty bottom of the harbor here, but the creature is dead. Well done. You still have your movement.
Yes. So can I like walk out of the shore, or am I still too wide for that?
No, you can't. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. So Kins is going to then move, I guess, over here, or I'll just move up to on the shore, closer to where everyone else is, and that'll be my turn.
Okay.
As I wave bye to Jeshi.
Thank you. I pat you on the back. Nice.
You're up, Thorkum.
Yeah, and I am surrounded. All right. Jeshi's cool. My AC goes back down, so shield wears off. I'm just gonna, man, I think I have the most hit points of anybody. I'm gonna risk it. I'm going to take my full movement and move behind Mrs. Polar Bear. So that's invoking 2 attacks of opportunity.
Okay. That's first one misses, and the second one hits with a 19. That's 4 damage.
Take it like a man. Ow. Slightly wincing.
Oh.
Oh, and I had to use half my movement to get up, so literally I can only go like right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so spinning around, I'm going to attack this ugly guy right here. Musket shot. That's a 12 to hit.
12's not going to do it on that guy.
13 was the one that Vinny rolled. Gotta go again. 26 to hit.
Yeah, 26 will hit. Very nice.
And 14 damage.
14 damage is exactly how many hit points he had left. He is dead.
Oh,
Yay!
oh.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my bonus action to 14. 14 is going to pull away to me. So he invokes another opportunity attack from this guy.
19 to hit, 7 damage.
Okay, he takes 7. And then he's going to use his action to repair.
Okay.
So roll 8.
All right.
So 5. No, he's full life. Okay, so back to full.
Cool. Okay, this guy right here is going to rush towards the giant polar bear, which looks like a tasty snack, and is going to just body slam you as hard as it can. Non-natural 20 to hit, and that's going to be 5 damage on the polar bear, Kins.
Okay.
And that's going to end its turn. So that brings us to the top of the next round. So as this happens, they're not on the map, but over kind of there we go. Hope you guys can see this. I'm pinging the map over here. Right around over here, three villagers have sort of run up, led by this very, very tall, probably 6.5 foot tall, extremely built-looking half-orc woman. She's got kind of light gray skin and this long kind of dark black hair. And she's dressed in leather armor. She's got what looks to be a longbow, and she's got a couple of villagers that you don't recognize with her, and she seems to be sort of coordinating them. And they all run up and they all draw their bows at the same time, and they sink 3 arrows into this zombie right here and easily fell it. That thing goes down very fast. There's another group over kind of behind Belrissa and Vinadil who look like they're getting ready to do the same thing, but they don't really have a clear line of sight, but they're all sort of knocked and ready to go and are holding their action if they get a clear line of sight on the last remaining zombie. Vindil, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I will move just a little bit to get a little better line of sight over Thorkham's head. And I'll take a shot with my crossbow. Is a 25 to hit.
Misses.
Yeah.
In fact, it catches your bolt in midair and just bites it in half.
Throws it away.
Zombie monks. We knew it was coming. And then 18 damage.
18. Wow, nice. This thing hasn't been hit yet, so it's still up, but that's a pretty hefty hit. Nicely done.
That's my turn.
Okay, Jeshi. You are free.
Am I
Free at last.
able to move?
You can move. Well, sort of.
Is it?
You are in difficult terrain, so you can move, but you're for you to get from where you are to the dock will cost you double movement.
Okay. Can I... Yeah, I guess I'll just do that. So double movement to the dock. Like, I'd like to go to, like, right here, which would take 20 feet.
Correct.
Agreed? Okay. That leaves me with 5. Because enlarge doesn't improve my speed at all, right? Or does it?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think
Okay.
it does.
So I'm just like... You know how, like, you see athletes running through the water? Like... And now
Time
these
is
my
moving
last
normally,
5.
but Jeshi's just. It's really weird.
Everything's different.
Everything
now.
Jeshi does. It's yeah.
Guys, I think we got it surrounded, and I'll just end my turn.
Okay. Belrissa.
All right. There's so many people around. I'm not gonna risk Eldritch Blast because it hasn't been going well.
Or you could redeem yourself. I don't know. Anything could happen.
No, I'm gonna point my finger at him and toll the dead.
Ooh.
So he has to make a Wisdom saving throw against 15.
Okay.
Oh wait, bonus action first though. Before I do that, I'm gonna move my hex to him.
Okay, so he's hexed. Ooh, 17.
Really, zombie guy?
He rolled a -2 on his so it does like all the checks at once, and then I take the one that I need, and they're all like 1, 3, -2, 4, 18. So it's very wise.
Just had a moment of clarity. Why am I doing this?
Why am I eating people?
That thing is made of metal. And this is a bear. Isn't good?
All right, that misses then.
Okay.
Turns out you
Unfortunately.
can't toll the dead and undead. Jeshi's gonna think about this one.
Let's see. That thing is gone. That thing's gone. Kins. This,
It's my
this-
turn.
This puny creature has just run up to you and tried to body slam you.
Yeah, rude. Multi-attack again. I'm gonna go for the bite first. All right.
Oh,
3 to hit. I know. I don't know what's happening here. Go. Okay. 10 damage.
10 damage. It's dead.
Hey.
It falls. Well
That's
done.
Kins's victory roar.
Is Jeshi still over the water, kind of?
He's kind of crawling out of the water at this exact moment. Yeah.
I'm gonna cancel enlarge on him. and just kind of look
Nice.
what happens.
Oh no! I guess we'll find out how that feels.
Jeshi, you're walking and you're like, oh, I'm what? And you get real small all of a sudden, but you're like still doing the slow thing for some reason. It's really
I'm
weird.
like going really slow, but I'm talking really fast. I'm like, whoa, what's going on now? This is kind of weird.
From now on, Jeshi just talks like really fast.
I've
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You reset.
Speaking of talking, like I'm gonna be walking up. We're all kind of grouped up here now, so like we've watched all this. It worked out. So my communication to the team is just like everything went according to plan, right? Like that was all according to plan. We're all good. So just if anyone asks, it was never out of control at any time. It's all good.
Kind of
No, I'm
removing the kelp off me. It's like, yeah, to plan.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna run up to that guy who hit me and just like kick him a bunch of times. I'm really pissed at him.
So as you do that, the half orc woman who Remus referred to as Kith walks up and she looks down on the ground and she reaches down and she picks up like what looks to be like just a plank of wood, or you don't know what it's for, and she just walks up to the one that you saw that she was faced off with when you first arrived, and she just starts beating it the same way Belrissa's
Nice.
kicking this thing, and she just looks over at you.
I give her the nod. Yeah.
She's just going. She's angry. She's you can see her whole shoulders all bandaged from where she got a similar wound to you. You guys have a bonding moment for a second. Remus, he kind of runs up. You're faster than I was. Yeah, thanks for holding the line. Nice work.
So does that happen often here?
No, it doesn't. You kind of look around and you can see that there's probably about 8 or 9 villagers now here at this point who turn this down just a little bit.
Good music though. I'm enjoying it very much.
It's a little loud though.
I'm in post-combat
It
bliss.
feels
I'm
like a Final Fantasy village.
Yeah.
Like
Not to date myself. Every time I hear harp music, I go back to Harpo.
Oh,
From-
I thought you were gonna say ogre battle.
No, the Marx Brothers, man.
Yeah.
I'm so old.
So you look around and there's a bunch of people gathering at this point. There's a handful of the village. Basically, as you guys arrived, there was a bunch of people down here working, right? And these things just crawled out of the water, and some people kind of ran away. Like there were some younger kids and stuff that obviously fled. But the majority of the fishermen just went for it, like grabbed whatever they could. You know that they don't have a lot of weapons right now because they're really low on iron in particular. So even the fishermen are using they're spear fishing, and they're using wooden hooks in some cases. So basically nobody has weapons really, like proper weapons. But that didn't slow them down. Like these are some tough people, right?
Jay, I'm curious. Is Captain Rain around? Like, was the ship still here?
Captain Rain's ship is still here, but it's way down the dock. You're in kind of a totally different spot.
Then I'd like to kind of survey and also ask Remus if we have any injured that need help.
Okay, so he's
Any civilians hurt?
I literally saved you, and I just sit down.
Thank you very much. We'll talk about it later. No, I'll do a cure wounds on Thorcum, and then a cure wounds on Belrissa. So
there are definitely some injured. So as you're doing that, he kind of looks around and he says, "There are. If you can help, please do." And he kind of he looks at you, Belrissa, and he says, "This is not a thing that happens, but we'll have to talk more later." And he kind of rushes off, and he's helping somebody who's injured. And a bunch of the people have gathered now and have come together a little bit. So Jeshi, you spend the next few minutes. Well, what are you doing? You can tell me.
Well, 5 to Thorcum, 7 to Belrissa. So that'll be 2.
Nice.
And then I'll just follow along and kind of look and see if there's anyone I can help.
Okay.
Even if it's like a superficial injury, I'm good with bandages and stuff.
Sure.
From
Yeah,
military training.
make a medicine check.
Will do. Coming in, 10.
10. Okay. Yeah. Good with bandages, relative. You definitely wrapped some bandages. Not quite sure. Not quite sure if you wrapped them properly, but you certainly did wrap those bandages. But yeah, they seem thankful for that. You hear a sort of a bit of shouting, bit of raised voices as you look over slightly up the hill and down a little bit. You can see Kith, the half-orc woman, is sort of standing next to another half-orc gentleman. You see him even from this distance. He's probably about 100 feet away at this point, but he's a pretty imposing figure. First thing you notice about him is that he only has one arm. He's got kind of dark gray skin, a little bit darker than Kith does. He's wearing a red bandana kind of tied around his head, and he's got basically like a what looks to be a dark leather apron. And he looks angry, and he starts walking towards you guys, and Kith kind of follows closely after. And you can see that he's covered in blood, which is something that's just stands out to you. That's a little bit weird. And he kind of walks over, and Remus gets up, and he looks like he's about to talk to Belrissa, and then you hear the half-orc man shout. He says, "I told you this would happen, Remus. As soon as they arrived, these things showed up. Not here a single day before the dead sniffed them out. Magic is dangerous. It has no place here." And you see Remus kind of looks over at the guy, and he says, "Niles, if they had not been here, this would have been much worse. Those things are here because they're here. Magic is..." And Kith, she kind of puts her hand on his chest, and you can see like he's just like he's all sneered up, and his teeth are flaring out, and he looks really, really angry. And Kith kind of puts her hand on his shoulder and leans in and seems to whisper something to him, and he reaches down, grabs a plank, and just like chucks it into the water, and just turns around and storms off. Never really got all that close to you guys, and Kith seems to follow after him.
Turn to Remus. That seems good. That seems good.
Is he gonna be trouble?
For the record, there are a lot of undead, so it may have just been a coincidence. I don't think these undead were following us.
I don't think that's the case. We've never had an attack like this in the middle of the day. It's very strange, and the tide is not right. Normally, when the tide's quite a bit of ways out, some of them can wander in. They really don't like the salt. We typically don't deal with this type of thing, but sometimes if the conditions are right, we get the odd attack. We've never had one like this. This is, I have to admit, a bit strange. Not that you didn't handle yourself quite well.
Did anything else change, or was it just us arriving? Jeshi raises an arm and smells himself. Maybe they were following us.
He seems to think about your question for a second, Jeshi, and he says, I don't know. I need to deal with this. Perhaps later, if I see you at the tavern, we can talk more. But right now, and he seems just distracted, and people are calling for his help, and
okay, bye.
things like that. So,
Did he give us a description earlier of Velma or Cobb, other than kind of their boat? He told us kind of where their boat was, right?
Yeah, he gave you a general direction, and said that.
Okay.
He basically said that Cobb's boat wouldn't be hard to miss.
Oh, because it's got the
about all
armor
we know.
plating or something, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Well, I wanted to look around and see if we had caught their eye. Do we see his boat from where we are, or is it on the other end of the docks too?
Make a perception check.
That is 14.
14. You see some boats. It's definitely some boats down there.
I think armor plated. All right. I'm gonna look around then to Belrissa and anybody who's not like helping injured people that wants to go. Just be like, let's go see if we can find that captain, because it's still midday, right?
It's actually fairly late at this point. It's probably
It's
nearing
fairly
5.
late. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're gonna have to be up before the sun rises, right? To catch these people before they go fishing.
I mean, he might still be here.
Yeah, let's take a
let's
walk.
take a-
Let's
take
take
a
a walk.
look.
I need to walk a little bit anyway. So yeah, let's walk down the docks, and I'll look at Ken's. Are you still polar bear, Ken's? Or
I
did
am a
you-
polar bear. I'm like
Okay.
shaking off the kelp as
Okay.
I shrink myself back to druid form.
Yeah, I mean, Thorkum, Ken's, if you guys want to come, great. Or you can stick here with Jeshi and help people.
I'm gonna help Jeshi because I've got some spell slots and left.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's take a
I'd
walk.
join.
Okay. See if we can find this ship anyway. See if anybody's around.
Okay. So you, the harbor is basically north of. The harbor itself is north of the docks, and there's sort of a long boardwalk that goes along the whole thing for quite a ways, and the majority of the village actually is sort of built kind of along the coast of this of this harbor, and so there's really kind of this long straight shot where you can just walk all the way down, and you do actually have to walk almost the whole way. You were you gonna say something?
Oh, I was gonna ask, see if I see someone who looks like a seafaring person and ask them, so we don't have to walk maybe the whole way.
Well met. I am a seafaring person. I fare the seas daily.
Fantastic.
Here are the
All right.
seas.
So we're looking for this guy named Cobb. Cobb, right?
Cobb.
Cobb.
His
know what-
face sours immediately.
I was gonna say everyone should know him.
You're looking for Cobb.
Yeah. Do you know where he is? Do you know where he parks his boat?
He sinks a little bit and he says, "You're going the right way. Good luck." And he just scurries off.
Well,
All right. Well,
somewhat
thanks
helpful.
for the luck.
Thanks.
I guess. Oh man.
All
I
right.
guess we shall keep going.
Faring the seas and fair. He just starts singing a shanty. He's just pulling ropes randomly. You know, it's like I don't even know what he's doing. So you keep walking, and it doesn't take more than probably about 10 minutes. You get quite a ways down, and one of the things you notice as you get further down is one of the common things you've noticed around the city is that there's a lot of ruins, not just buildings, but walls. Old fortifications. This used to be a much bigger, much more populated city, or perhaps a town. You're not quite sure, but now the population is considerably smaller than really the space and the buildings. And a lot of these ruins have been sort of picked clean for materials and things like that, but not really completely cleaned out. And the same is true about the boats. You can see that there are just wrecked boats, kind of in certain, you know. Places on the docks, and you get past kind of where all the main fisheries are and where all the main fishing boats are parked, or docked rather, and you can see Cobb's boat. At least you see the boat as it was sort of described by Remus. It's it's kind of sitting square and squat in the water, and it looks like it looks heavy. It's weird. It sits a little lower than the rest of the ships. It looks like it's been repaired probably dozens of times. You can see patchwork, bits and pieces all over the place. You can see that it's got twin masts in the middle, and the most notable thing about it, though, is that one side is basically patchwork covered in what look like bronze and iron plates. And not only are they covered in those plates, but those plates themselves have these marks in them that resemble sort of giant claw scars, like something has just like slashed across these plates, and they're all over the place. The plates themselves are bent, and sort of some of them are in really rough shape. And this is striking to you because you literally were just told by Remus that this place is sort of running low on any sort of metal. So seeing this ship is a bit odd, but it's definitely Cobb's ship. What do you want to do?
Yeah, that looks promising. Is Cobb there?
We'll call out.
Yeah.
Like, anyone on the ship? Cobb? Cobb's daughter? Velma?
Velma.
There's no immediate answer, but when you call for Velma, you notice that, sure enough, poking up from kind of below the side with what looks to be a mallet and some sort of tool pouch in her hand is a young human girl. She can't be more than 17 years old. She's very young. She's got this kind of she's kind of tall and a bit lanky, but also just super ripped. She's got shaved side of her head, and her hair is really long, and it's kind of in a loose ponytail almost most of the way down her back. And she's got sort of just loose fitting tank top type shirt on, and she just looks up, and she's got this look on her face like what? Like, what is this? Like, this is a kid, and she's just looking at you like, what are you doing here? She says nothing. What do you do?
She says, "You wish, weatherman." I'm just gonna reference Remus. You likely heard, it seems the whole village has heard, that our particular group was coming to your town, and we've heard from Remus that there's a shortage of metal. I'll look around at their boat. Apparently doesn't apply to you and your ship, but the rest of the town, and that you are the only ship that's willing to go far enough out into the sea to potentially find more. Lots of talking. Do not understand. I just look at Belris.
I understand.
I'm like,
I
these
understand
villagers.
everything
Yeah,
you're saying, and I have. I don't care even a little bit. You need to talk to my grandfather.
Your grandfather, Cobb, I presume.
Yeah. Why is that's why you're here,
Can
right?
we talk to him now?
Is he here?
Is he here? It's 5 o'clock. There's only one place my grandfather is right now. He's probably 10 ales in.
Should go back.
All right. Well, it was
You wanna
nice.
come with us?
Nice chatting with you. Yeah, you
You
want
wanna come grab a drink?
Her brow furrows again. She says nothing.
All right.
Cool.
See
What
ya.
time do you guys head out most mornings?
She just ignores you. She's kind of like partly gone back to work, partly like making it very clear that she's not answering your question.
All right. Well, it's
Teenagers
been
are
great
so
chatting
unpleasant.
with you. We'll see you
see
tomorrow.
Bye.
Oh my gosh.
Thank goodness humans are so short-lived. All right.
As you're walking away, she calls out to you. He's not going to talk to you. Don't waste your time.
Why
Well, why do you
not?
say that?
Just keep on walking. Like, this person isn't worth the time anymore. I'm just walking back. Let's see if we can't locate this guy.
No, I mean,
there multiple-
I'm gonna stay. She
I'm
called
also
out.
staying to talk to this lady.
I'm gone.
Girl,
Back towards the
vibin'.
guys. Yeah.
Enjoy
yeah.
your walk.
As soon as Vinadil walks away, you can see that she kind of follows him, and as the two of you walk back over in the opposite direction, kind of towards her, she seems to like her shoulders relax a little bit. She kind of like walks over to the bow of the ship, and she seems to put down whatever tools she was carrying with a clunk and kind of wipes a sweaty brow. She looks over. There's no way he's going to take you out there.
Why not?
Because it's dangerous. Why would he do that?
Well, Remus said that he was the only person
Willing to.
willing, brave
Oh.
enough, crazy enough, maybe
Hasn't he
enjoys
been
a
there?
challenge. I mean, your ship obviously looks like, it could handle it, all this metal and stuff.
She says, those are all true things. But he doesn't like people much. He's not going to take a risk like that for strangers. I don't think he will. No way.
What if we weren't strangers?
But you are. You just got here. You said it yourself.
True. So you're saying we have to make friends with Cobb first?
She seems to ponder that for a second. She goes, well, yeah, but nobody's friends with Grandpa.
I mean, he has to have some friends, right? It's lonely without friends.
Make an insight check. Dolores.
All right, insight. That is a 12.
12. She seems to, when you make the comment about him having at least some friends, she kind of seems to just, there's this little barely noticeable sort of nod, kind of acknowledgement to that. But then she quickly kind of shakes it off and she says, he doesn't, especially, he doesn't like elves for one. I don't know. I mean, you can ask him. I mean, he's drinking at the.
But he does like to drink. So, do you think that if we talk him up while drinking, that he'd warm up to us, or would that just make it worse?
Well, that's not going to make it worse. He enjoys drinking a lot. She kind of makes a face like that seems to bother her a little bit, but
How does he feel about dwarves?
I don't know. He's going to be very angry if he finds out I've talked to you so much. I would suggest you go talk to him and maybe buy him a drink. That would probably be a good start. But I wouldn't have high hopes. He does not do things like this. And I do know who you are. The whole town knows. Sparrow won't shut up about it.
Oh, Sparrow.
He's cute.
Yeah.
Are you going
All
to
right,
help
well,
us?
Of
course.
Yeah, we're trying.
Okay.
that's why we're doing this crazy plan, and we need to get him to help us. Otherwise, we can't help y'all.
It's not me you need to convince. It's his boat. I just help.
Also, we totally just killed some sea monsters down the way there. They were squishy and
I heard
gross.
a bunch of yelling. Is that what happened?
Yeah, there was this giant kelp thing, and he swallowed our friend, and then we made him big, and he bursted out, and it was really awesome. And then there was some undead sea guys, and there were some sea monster
You
things.
fought the dead. Is that? She seems to perk up a little bit. She says, "You fought yourselves? You fought them?"
Yeah, she blasts them, and I'll bite them. I turn into a polar bear.
She stands up a little straighter. How do you? I've got to get back to work. But make an insight check. One more
Okay.
time, both of you.
Okay. Uh, 10.
4.
A seagull basically pooped right next to you, Belrissa, and you were like, whoa, and just didn't notice anything that was going on. It was just like, "Grr!" And you're just very distracted. Kins, you can sense a little bit of admiration, two sort of very strong looking females who this young girl seems to very much be interested in talking more to you, but also clearly worried that she's probably not supposed to be. So she she kind of says, hey, I've got to get back to it here.
All right. Well, I'm Belrissa. This is
I'm
Kins.
Kins.
And hopefully we sail out with you tomorrow, but we will see.
We'll pretend like we don't know you, though. I try to wink.
She kind of gives you a little half smile and then goes back to it. Vinadil, you're walking back by yourself. And stepping out of the alley is a group of pretty burly looking human men. They kind of step out. There's 3 of them, and they kind of walk kind of around you in a way that you would perceive as sort of aggressive.
Oh.
And one of them kind of says, "Is it true? Are you the reason that those things were here?"
No. Have you guys heard nothing of what's going on in the world? Those things are everywhere. It's a stroke of pure luck or some kind of random chance that your little port town hasn't been flooded decades ago.
A voice behind you, one of the guys who is kind of circled around, kind of a higher, more nasally kind of voice says, "We have kids. Those things attack more because you're here. It's gonna get me. Niall says it's because of you that they're attacking us, because of magic."
I show him my rapier, my crossbow. Like, these look magic to you?
Make a persuasion check, Vin.
Persuasion with all of my charm. 16.
The guy in front, you kind of like glance back and the guy in front kind of looks down and he raises a hand up to his buddy behind him and he says, "We don't mean trouble. It's just we've got families, see, and there's rumors going around that it's well."
I'm going to kind of stop him and just kind of lock eye contact with this one and see if I can get eye contact and just say to him, "Look, we don't know each other, but I understand that. In this crazy world, family is all that matters. I'll tell you what, we're here to help, but we have to actually leave in order to help you. And Cobb, apparently, is the only person that can take us where we need to go. We don't know this guy, and I couldn't take more than about 30 seconds talking to his granddaughter. But if you can help us convince Cobb to let us use his boat, buy his boat, rent his whatever we have to do, give him drink for the next 3 months." Oh my gosh.
He literally starts laughing.
I shake my head and I just start walking again.
He calls back out to you and he says, I don't know what that means, but Cobb." and you just keep walking and quickly get out of earshot. The 2 dwarves, Thorkum and Jeshi, are back at the main beach up where the docks are. At this point, you've managed to help everybody out. It's about 5:30, probably getting on 6 o'clock at this point. The sun has started to dip a bit. You're kind of in that twilight at the end of the day. The tide has started to go out, and you can see sort of as the tide recedes, the water recedes, you can see the giant sort of holes that were left in the ground where Jeshi / this big creature were sort of sunk in, and you can see just the debris left over from the creature, and it smells wonderful. That's Thorkum, you pick up on that. You just love it. It's fantastic. But Remus finally walks over after they've finished kind of cleaning up and helping everyone, and he just all right, well, I'm going to get a drink. You're welcome to join me one way or another. I'll see you back there, I'm sure, later. He just kind of nods his head and turns and walks away. About at this point,
Okay,
Vin, you catch up with them too.
Thorkum, what do you think would happen if like more than one person cast enlarge on me? Magic is crazy, right? You think I could just be like as big as that ship?
That might be the last time I do that.
We gotta pull.
No. I don't think it should be the last time.
Let's the next time something walks out of the water that's 15 feet tall.
Charge it.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna look
Do
around.
you want to charge it?
I look at Vinny as he approaches.
I'm gonna grab Thorkum, and I'm relatively flustered at this point. I'm just looking around there. Are there any villagers? I want a private word.
Yeah,
with
there's
Thorkum
people
and Jeshi.
everywhere. Yeah, I mean, but it's
Can we-
easy enough where you can peel off.
Yeah.
Find
Let's
a
just
spot.
pull up a little bit, and I'm just gonna look, Jeshi, Thorkum. We might have an issue with this Cobb fellow. Jeshi, did Remus say that Rain is still here?
Yeah.
Like
I think we saw.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to talk this Cobb guy. Like, look, I don't want to create any issues for this town. Like, I look around. I wish them well. We need Cobb's boat, not necessarily Cobb. I don't know how to sail that kind of ship, though, but Rain might. And so, I just don't know if we should let him leave without figuring out if we can get this Cobb guy to sail us or not.
Do we still see Rain's boat?
Make a perception check.
I'll let you two guys do that.
2.
Oh, jeez.
I see Jeshi like looking back towards.
He's looking
know,
in the wrong
like,
direction.
If I was taller, I could see farther.
Two.
hit
Two.
large.
And with my 18 passive, do I see his boat?
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna roll.
it's
I'm
right.
just gonna
it's
be
right where
like
you left it.
pointing.
um,
I don't know.
like
they all
I'm
look the
assuming-
same, man.
I'm assuming he's not going to take off, but before we go back to finish the day, I will want to swing by Rain's boat and just see if they're planning to leave tonight.
Did you meet Cobb?
We didn't. We met his granddaughter. She was unpleasant enough. And then I talked to 3 villagers who seem more in line with that half-orc guy who's a little bit upset we're here. Seemed to talk them down, but they basically laughed at me when I mentioned us needing to use Cobb and his boat.
Maybe
You
she'll
might have
like
a better
me. I'm a
chance.
grandson.
You're also, yeah, but we don't need her. We need this Cobb guy
Oh.
to be willing to go with his ship.
Yeah,
Down
but
to
in
the
my
island.
experience, like my grandparents would do literally anything that I asked them. I mean, like anything. They're, ride or die.
I'm gonna let you guys talk to him. Maybe you. Maybe
I'm good
maybe
with
Belris
grandparents.
and Kins had better luck. I'm just saying. I'm thinking about a plan B that involves Cobb's ship and someone else at the helm. And then I'm just gonna kind of start
love it.
walking. I'm just gonna start walking over to where Thorkum pointed, where Rain's ship was, and just go check on them, see if they're gonna stay the night.
I'm gonna follow, but I'm going to get on 14's back. I'm just kind of like hold my hood down.
I'm gonna look at how tall he is enviously. I'll kind of trot along,
Like, are you on his shoulders or are you like piggyback?
Yeah. On the shoulders.
Also.
Okay. And where are you headed?
I guess they're following me to Rain's ship. I just started walking towards the direction Thorkum pointed, and then I'm hoping that it all kind of locked into place that's where we got off. And so walking back to where we got
Okay.
off.
As we're walking, Vinny, you mentioned 3 villages approached you?
Yeah, man, I don't think this whole place is as cool with magic as Remus is.
Do you know what the
So-
girls are?
They're this direction, I think, right? Everything's this direction, pretty much, right? Like we were kind of at one end of the dock and we're moving towards the harbor. And so
you
we're
had to
heading,
walk all the way down to sort of the opposite
Right.
end to get to where Cobb's
so where
ship
I'm
is.
basically retracing my steps again,
Cool.
right?
Yeah, and
But
it's
I'm
right
assuming
about
this
now
is like-
that Kins and Belressa, you guys actually
Are
kinda
coming
turn,
this direction?
you kind of come around a bend and you see them. So you're all together
I
now.
assume this is only like a 20 to 30 minute walk, right? This isn't a giant place.
Yeah, yeah. It takes about probably 25 minutes to walk from one end to the other.
Yeah.
As the girls approached, and I'm just gonna say this to the air. I was like, we probably need to stick together in this place. This isn't our home.
Yeah, it's definitely not the city. And I'll just recount real quickly the,
say, yeah,
the three
Vin.
guys. Yeah.
You just
Who-
left us.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great
Well, you
conversation.
didn't have to stay.
We
That
had to get more
girl-
information from her.
She was worthless.
Yeah, no, she
Well,
wasn't.
Maybe if you weren't so aggressive and rude to her.
We're trying to help this place that by all accounts shouldn't even be here.
You didn't even
I can't-
introduce yourself. You're like,
You didn't
we're like the
try.
famous people, and here's our plan, and like, maybe
Can't
a
just
little,
go storming
little small
off.
talk first, you know.
You know?
Are we famous?
In
No,
this little-
Jeshi, no.
This little place, apparently.
Sparrow
No.
knew who we were.
So
True.
I want to go just check on Captain Rain, see how long they're planning to stay. That's kind of where we're headed. Do you guys mind coming
Yeah,
this
let's go.
direction for a little while?
Let's go.
And then I'm gonna explain my thoughts to you guys too of like what we really need is a ship. If we can get a captain too, that'd be great. But there's a lot of captains in this place. Apparently only one ship. So
I mean,
I'm just saying if this Cobb guy becomes an issue, maybe we can get creative on taking his ship out into the
you want
into the
to you want a steel cop ship?
Yeah,
Like-
that seems worse.
I'm not saying that's what we have to do.
We just got to
just
this
saying,
town, and you wanted
the
to
city
be
needs
like a
help.
pirate, take a ship, and
There's
then you're
one
gonna
ship
find the
that can
captain that's
help.
gonna like take us out into the most dangerous place ever.
Commandeer this.
I'm just we're helping the city.
Wait,
This
do we
is the
like?
ship that needs to help them.
We need that ship for sure.
I mean,
This ship's pretty cool. It's got like metal
It's
armor
solid.
on it. It's
well,
this
and
ship will get
it
us
was
there.
metal
I have
armor that had
Ding
been
ding.
attacked by something strong enough to scar it. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking around at these other wooden boats here. I'm like, I mean, I kind of trust Remus on this one. I don't know if any of the rest of these things would
Yeah,
get
I mean,
us
Captain
through whatever
Rain's
that was.
boat almost got destroyed by just like one little squid guy.
One
Yeah,
We
little
didn't even
squid guy.
experience a storm. It
One
didn't
little
even
squid
rain.
boy. Just almost
But
took
to
it
the
out.
point,
I mean,
This
I used
boat-
to think it was big, but now.
no, I don't
think so.
want Captain Rain's boat. I want Captain Rain piloting Cobb's boat. Potentially. I just want to keep our options open. That's
Yeah,
why I'm
and-
walking down to
okay.
Captain Rain to see
I
how long
hear
they're
ya.
going to be
All
here.
right,
All right.
There's possibly another option as well.
You guys talk Cobb into doing this thing. Maybe we can buy him a lifetime of booze. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
All right.
You make it down to where the rainy day is docked, where you originally got off, kind of back in familiar end of town. And you can see that there is one crew member who's just sort of keeping watch over everything, but nobody else seems to be on board. For the sake of brevity, we'll say you talk to him, and he mentions that Rain is also at the tavern. Pretty much everybody's there. I mean, it's evening.
Oh my gosh, I just got
Savior.
it. The rainy day.
Yes, indeed, Jeshi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Amazing.
Well, we got our steps in today. Let's
Yeah.
head back to the tavern.
Yeah.
Okay, so you walk up the hill and
Right.
okay,
Guys, we learned that Cobb does not like elves so much. So,
Yeah.
as much as I hate to say it, you guys
We-
should,
we gotta-
the dwarves should maybe approach him first. And
Ooh, or maybe 14. Just take over.
no.
That was a
Maybe.
joke, y'all. We had a long day. Come on, laugh.
Yeah.
I almost got eaten.
You're gonna leave
A
it.
lot of things happened to you, Jeshi.
Huh.
He
I
likes
could
to
use a
drink.
beer myself, you know.
He doesn't like elves.
Doesn't like elves.
Yes, booze, no elves.
So we should
So-
probably figure out what the plan is. Like what?
Yeah.
Like what are we gonna say? I suggest not being so. Everyone is on edge. Let's ease into it.
I'm not gonna say anything to this guy. I'm just gonna find. I'll go find Captain Rain when we get there. Jeshi, we have a mountain of money. We could probably buy the tavern if we wanted to, but for whatever, we could offer this guy a lifetime supply of whatever he wants.
We should just buy a boat.
I'm good buying his ship.
Why have the mystery box? It could even be a boat. That was a reference.
Okay. Sorry. It's like, I'm not getting the inside joke. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I have beer. I could probably give him some beer. I want beer.
I think
It's just up in our room.
our first plan should be just to be friends with him. Let's not come out with the plan right away. Let's just become drinking buddies, friends with Cobb. And then we can spring on the whole dangerous mission thing.
This dude's gonna be so drunk. You get good luck. All right, cool. I'm focused on Captain Rain.
Your conversation
You're relying.
is cut short as you approach the front door of the Sleeping Savior Tavern. The door swings open and stumbles out. It just kind of comes out and he slaps you on the back, Thorcum. And your favorite thing when strangers slap you on the back, you love it. Yes, and you see 14 kind of like reach over, and you have to tell him to chill out. As this drunkard kind of stumbles out and he just sort of starts to stumble away, and you can hear in the tavern. It's not like a far cry from what it was at 3 p.m. when you were here last. It's a little rowdier, a little noisier. It's more songs than there were. Definitely everybody's a bit further in, we shall say. But you walk in and you're welcomed by half a dozen kind of some of the people from the beach that you kind of rescued / helped from the dead. Some of Captain Rain's men who are just kind of calling out. But you walk in and you see Emmy working behind the bar. You can also see Sparrow kind of over in the corner, and he's just like, he's going for it. He's like telling some kind of story to a bunch of drunken sailors who are kind of like half listening. And but yeah, you see a whole bunch of folks in here. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna post 14 by the door, and do I see anybody drinking alone?
Make a perception check.
As we walk in, I kind of subtly wave at Emmy and elbow Vin in the side.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. Nat 20. All right. So you're like, you go into that like Sherlock Holmes mode, right? Where you're just like, suddenly like a wireframe, like 3D scan of the room appears in your mind as you're like taking survey of every living, breathing creature. Time slows. Everybody just stops. And Thorcum just takes his time looking around. At least that's how it feels in your mind. And sure enough, back corner, there's a booth. And there's an older man. It's one of those moments where you see him and you're like, that's him. That's definitely the guy. He's by himself. Probably the only person in here who's by himself. And he's sitting in a booth, and he's kind of got one arm up, and he's kind of got a mug in his hand, and he's sort of like twirling his finger around the top. This is a haggard guy. He's old. He's human. He's older. He's probably in his mid to late 60s, you would guess at first glance from where you are. He's got he's wearing like kind of a brown leather flat cap, and he's got curly, kind of longish white and silver hair that's kind of like pulled back, slightly below his shoulders. Got a big beard, probably about halfway a little bit longer, or not quite as long as your Storkum, but proper big. You notice it, and it's just kind of got a little bit of curl, a little bit of just rasp to it, and he's focused. He's sitting up well, but he's definitely, you could tell he's had, he's had some drinks for sure.
I grab Jeshi. I can't believe I'm saying this, but you're gonna have to do the talking. And I just kind of push you through the tavern. Where's this guy?
Is there a table or bar space that's near the booth, but not or just within earshot, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 or 3 tables away, you're able to find an open spot, and in between raucous shouts, you can probably hear what's being said over there. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm looking for Rain at the same time as Thorkum is looking for the lonely guy.
I'm gonna go get Ziggy so that he's with me while we're hanging out at the bar.
Yeah, Ziggy's locked up in your room upstairs.
Oh, hey, Belrosa.
Huh?
Can you
what?
go in our room and grab a keg, just a little cask of my beer,
Totally.
and bring it down?
Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
I got that.
Thanks. Not a full keg. It's a little cask. I carry it around. You'll be fine.
Okay.
As you approach this older gentleman, you can see he's got sort of just a simple kind of off-white shirt, black cotton breeches. He's just sitting there, pretty typical looking sailor type of guy. At least not too far off from everybody else here to style. But what you do notice is he is absolutely covered in scars and old tattoos, decades old tattoos. The ink is faded and almost blurred to the point where you can barely tell what these tattoos are. All across his just absolutely massively built arms, you can see that he's just got. This is a man who's spent his life on the sea. He's got that old sunburnt, almost crispy looking skin. He's just covered head to toe and just sort of scars, and he's just a burly, haggard looking guy. And as you approach, he does not even look up. He's just kind of.
As we get a little closer, I'm gonna stop and put out my arm for Thorkum and say, wait. Okay, my grandpa says you never ask for a favor empty-handed. So I make my way to the bar and order drinks.
Welcome back. I'm glad you made it. I heard what happened down at the
Wait,
docks.
all of it?
Well, I heard that there was a fight, and I heard that because of you, that we are safe again. So I just wanted to say thank you, and this is on the house. And she slides a.
Thanks very much. It was mostly Vin, but can I have one extra?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And she slides another ale your way.
I'll take them over to Cobb in the corner.
You walk over to Cobb. You've got 2 drinks in your hand. He's kind of sitting there with his back to the. He's in the furthest booth in the corner. He's got his back there, and he's not really moved all that much. The 2 of you approach and describe what you do.
I mean, I just approach and set the beer on the table and sit across from him.
Okay. You set the beer down, and he does not look up. He's sort of sitting there. He's just sort of moving his finger kind of around the rim of his tankard, and he doesn't look up. You put the ale kind of down. His finger stops. Meanwhile, Vinadil, you're looking for Captain Rain. You're walking around. Make a perception check.
11. It's not awful.
We got distracted by the cheer.
I don't know. Emmy.
This is a hard place to see things. It's a hard place.
There's a lot of people in here, and you're probably gonna have to shuffle through some more shoulders, just kind of looking around. as you continue to. But you do see Emmy over behind the bar, and she kind of looks over and gives you a smile and a nod. And Belrissa, you make your way upstairs into the room that you're staying in, and as you approach, you can hear like frantic meowing from inside the room, scratching against the door. What do you want to do?
I'll open it and grab Ziggy as he leaps out and just throw him on my shoulder and say, Ziggy, oh
He
my.
immediately just he's so excited. He just all the claws, all of them at the same time, just and you've got this like scar on your shoulder from when the undead thing almost bit your shoulder off, and Ziggy's just like and it hurts. Oh, it hurts. But you are happy to see him, I imagine. So it's
Oh my god, Ziggy. We fought some undead things and some squishy kelp things, and I will tell you all about it tonight. But first, we have to go get some ale, and then we have to convince the sailor guy to take us on his boat. So let's go do that. And then I will try to break into Jeshi's room.
No, I gave you my key. I gave you a key.
Okay.
Knock it down.
So you open the door to Jeshi's room, and something a little weird. When you look at the bed, there's like a tree growing off of the corner of the bed. It's like 2 feet tall. There's like all these branches coming out. There's like leaves sprouting, and like there's like little buds. It's very strange. But you don't. Dwarves are just weird. You don't know what's going on. But the big keg of ale is pretty easy to find. It's parked in the corner, and yeah, you've seen it
I
before.
like to think that I have 2 miniature casks.
Okay.
They're not like gigantic. 1 armor.
Like like
1
this
arm
big,
for
right?
me. Under an arm.
Okay.
So I will grab it
Make
and
a
waddle down.
make a athletics check.
Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Because I'm not wise in the way of beer. I'm going to roll it.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm rolling it down the hallway.
All right. So
Because it seems like the most effective way to get it down.
Efficient.
So you roll the keg out the door. Seems like I mean, you're pretty clever, right? I don't know why doesn't he do it this way? So you get to the stairs and you're just like clunk, clunk, clunk all the way down the stairs. Meanwhile, back at the other end of the bar, Kins, what are you doing right now?
I make eye contact with Emmy to get some beverage into my system.
She obliges. You are flush with whatever drinks you want. In fact, a couple of the locals come over and offer to buy you drinks, partially in thanks for helping them, partially because they're hammered and they're just being themselves. And so you're over there. So back at the other end, the finger stops.
My grandpa says the dead don't drink. And I like to think that means if we don't want to die, we should drink more. Do you agree with that?
There's a pause. And he says, "Sounds like someone I'd get along with. That for me, then."
Yeah, that's for you. Yeah. We know who you are. This is Thorcum. That's 14 at the door. You know who we are?
Aye.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you know this, but you have kind of a reputation in this place. Do you like that reputation?
He seems to ponder that for a second. And he reaches over and he takes your tankard of ale that you've brought him. And he tilts the whole thing back kind of slams it down. I like it very much if it gets me beers like this. Come, sit.
Thank you. Yes.
Did you bring another?
I'll try to flag for one.
Thorcom, what are you doing right now? You standing kind of at the end, or are you sitting? What are you doing?
I'm gonna sit down after Jeshi and kind of pull my hood back for the first time. Kind of put my musket kind of up on the table and just kick back.
He's very, this guy is super drunk. He's slow. He's very observant. You can kind of easily tell that like he seems to take a long pause in between talking and just sort of eyes you. He takes a good long look at you, Thorcom. Particularly at your face, and you can tell just because you're used to this, most of your life. You can tell that he's given a good hard look at the black vein-like sort of markings all over your skin, trying to sort of figure that out. Though he doesn't say anything, looks down, looks at the musket, and he says, "Was that you down the beach? Save some of the boys. I can hear them talking about it."
Yeah, that was us. Wasn't exactly the first day we were hoping for, to be honest with you. But it's good to stretch the legs, I guess.
I know who you are. I know where you've come from. What I don't know is why you're talking to me. And why you know who, or you think you know who I am.
Well, we're trying to help. We're helpers. We might not always look like it, but I think after being with these people for a while, we're a unit. We're different, but we do things together, and we have a compass to what we're doing.
A compass.
Yeah.
So
we're trying to help, and this is a way we can help, and you're somebody who can help us help them.
He laughs a little bit. You have a compass, do you?
Well, I mean, like, not a real one.
Not a real compass. So you're here to help these folk, are you? How exactly do you plan to do that?
Remus mentioned an island that only you will approach.
Did he?
Yes.
An island that only Cobb will approach.
Yes.
Aye. Sounds about right. There's a lot of things in Portsmouth that only Cobb will do. Kind of looks around, and you can tell, like, there's make an insight check, actually, both of you, as you're talking to him. Vin, make another perception check. You've made it to the opposite end of the bar, of the tavern.
Jeshi. Oh, yeah. What is
Another natural one on perception. So,
Oh, Emmy.
You're not making this easy on yourself.
I can't see anything in this stupid bar.
Everywhere you turn, it's Emmy. There she is.
It's incredibly smoky in here. They have not built like this is an old place. The ventilation is not great. It's your eyes are kind of burning, and they're starting to puff up a little bit, and your eyes are a bit swollen, and you haven't even had much to drink, if any. But you're like, if you looked at you, you'd think that you were just totally drunk as you're kind of stumbling around. Can't really see that well. But you hear something. You hear a crash as the music stops for a second, and Belrissa is standing at the bottom of the stairs, and she lost control of the beer keg as it kind of tumbled down the last few stairs, and you kind of catch it, and everyone kind of looks over, like, kind of confused about what's happening. What do you do, Belrissa?
We're okay. And so So Vin's there like, Vin, I gotta get this to Jeshi. Help me roll it.
I make that exact face and then look at her and pick it up. Yeah.
All right, so you pick up the beer keg and you start to walk towards where these guys are. Back over in the corner of the room, Cobb, he kind of looks up and he says, "So what's so important about this island? I know the one you speak. You speak of Thunderstone. Dangerous place. Most of the folk around here wouldn't dare go near Thunderstone. Why is it you've been in town less than a day and that's where you need to go?"
Remus told us that the town is facing a shortage of metal, of iron, and he has reason to believe there's an old dwarven mine there.
There's a lot of old things on Thunderstone. What was your insight checks?
15.
15. And Jeshi?
5.
5. Cool. Jeshi, you're just you can't. This guy's real hard to read. He's real drunk. It's you're trying your darndest to make a good impression.
Was that my cask? God.
Thorcum, you are getting a sense of like he keeps there's a lot of subtext to some of his comments. You get the idea that he doesn't have a lot of he doesn't like the people around here very much. He keeps kind of like shooting, sidelong glances at other people. He keeps, when he references like how, he's the one who knows about this place. Like you can tell he's kind of looking down on a lot of the other folks around, and just kind of looks up and he says, "Aye, there's a lot of old things on that island. But," and as he's thinking to himself about what he's going to say, Belrissa and Vin, you walk up with this keg of beer. And what do you do?
I'm just looking for any kind of, I don't know what's going on here, so I'm looking at Jeshi. I know it's his.
Give me that. Give me this. Like listen.
Hand it. That I'm going to turn around and immediately walk back to the bar.
I've got to take a baby intermission.
Okay.
I wave
You guys
them
got
down.
this.
Yeah.
We made it.
I don't want to see you anymore, Belrissa. Can you make a lap? All right. I'll set it next to me. Like it hopefully rises above the table, so it's just sitting there.
Yeah, he kind of raises an eyebrow as he sees it a little bit interested in what you've got there.
On our trips here, in our, I guess you could say, adventures, came across the concept of exchange.
And as soon as he says this, Thorcum lets out just the biggest sigh.
He says,
You all right there?
he says, exchange.
Yeah, you heard of it?
That's an ancient law there. That's something you don't hear very often. Exchange. Interesting. What do you propose to exchange?
I mean, hard to say. Maybe you want something in particular, but I can at least offer you some of this. I made it myself. Family recipe.
He says, he looks at it and he kind of holds out his tankard and
Probably better than what they make in here, you know?
well, let's find out. And I pour him some, and he tastes it for a second, and that's good. You made that yourself, did you?
Yeah.
Pours himself another one. Pours himself yet another one. He goes for 3 full tankards, and he seems to really like it. And he finally stops and, I don't go fishing with anyone I've never drunk with. And the two of you are not drinking. So, if we're going to talk business, please.
Thorkum, lift this up. And I just start drinking from it.
I will take a glass. after Jeshi has thoroughly wet himself. Haha!
This is something that used to happen in my old job, my unit. We do pretty good here.
I would say about a half hour goes by of just, a little bit of drinking, a little bit of small talk, type of stuff, and finally, you're a few drinks in, and he kind of leans back. He's been kind of like hunched over forward, and for the first time, he kind of leans back, and you can see he's got this just incredibly like broad kind of chest, and kind of his beard kind of pulls back, and you can see even under his upper shoulders, and he's just kind of covered in these scars, and he kind of says, "So, you want to go with me and my girl out to the burnt ledge, and you want to go to Thunderstone Island. You know what that means? Do you know what's out there? Because most of these fishermen, at least that's what they think they are, most of them don't have any idea what's out there. Most of them won't go past the break. Most of them, they stay in the harbor, they stay in the river. Most of them won't risk going any farther to where the real fishing is. That's what Cobb does. That's where you want to go, eh? You ever seen a silver spine?
No.
Giant fish, 15 feet long, the small ones. Got razor sharp spines all down its back. It'll swim right up to your boat and cut it right in half if you're not armored properly, or if you don't know where to go to avoid their nests. But you know what else is out there?
No.
The best of fishing. Cobb knows where them spots are, and that's why Cobb goes. No one else will go. Everyone else here wants to stay here, stay safe, and that's why Portsmouth ain't gonna last another 30 years. They'll all be dead. They're going to run out of food. Terrible things are gonna continue crawling out of the water. It's only gonna get worse. So I don't know why you're going to Thunderstone, but it ain't going to help. You should just go back to where you came from.
Can't. You know we're here. You probably heard what happened at the docks. We can't go back. We've got to make our way here.
My grandparents' home is overrun. So I can't go back. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
If this is their home, they should keep it as long as they can.
One of you make a persuasion check with advantage, because you're sort of both,
Jeshi, that's you, buddy.
15.
You talk a lot about your grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they now?
In the haven.
A great haven.
That's all right, yeah.
Why'd you leave them?
You want me to be honest with you?
Doesn't say anything.
We were asked to leave. Come here.
So you didn't want to come here?
I'll go where I'm needed. But there are a lot of places that need people like us.
I have a granddaughter. And he seems to get a little bit like, seems to be thinking about something for a minute. And he says, "This place has fallen apart. This place is going to shit. Nobody around here can fend for themselves anymore. And that's the world my granddaughter is going to need to grow up in." That bothers me a lot. He thinks to himself, he says, "I'll take you out there. But not before we have a few more drinks." and he looks over and he pours himself one from your keg. And Vinadil, across the bar. You finally you had to step outside for a moment to like air out. It's so smoky in there. It's really difficult to see. And as you're kind of like out there, you're kind of rubbing your eyes, you hear the door open behind you, and out steps Captain Rain. And he's definitely had a drink or two, but you know that he's not a heavy drinker from your time aboard the ship with him. But he's kind of steps out and he's saying an early goodnight to the men. Looks like he's about to head back, and he notices you, and he looks over. And he says, "Vinadil, why are you outside?"
That smoke is intolerable. I don't know how the rest of you guys are in there. It's messing with my eyes, but that's another thing. I actually looking for you, so it's fortunate that you're leaving now. I just didn't know how long are you planning on making your stay here in Portsmouth?
We're leaving first thing in the morning. We've got a longer journey than we're used to get back. Let's just say I've got to take the long way home, thanks to what happened on the way here. Speaking of, I want to talk to you for a minute. And he reaches into what looks to be his pouch that he's got, and he pulls out basically a long piece of paper that was sort of stuffed in there kind of sideways, and he unfolds it a bunch of times, and it is the main piece of the chart that you discovered with him, that kind of got you guys into that trouble with the pirates on the way here. And he reaches out and he offers it to you, and he says, "I've been thinking about this. I've got to make sure to keep my men safe. That is my number one priority. And if I were to get boarded again on the way back and they were to find this in my possession, they'll kill us all, no questions asked. I'm worried about, after what happened, my ability to get this back to Cimarron safely, so I'm going to leave it in your care. Perhaps you can translate what's on it, make some use of it. It was a bad decision on my part to put my crew and to put you in danger to go after this chart. I hope that it has some value to you."
I'll take it, and I know that so it's a couple questions about like our interaction with them. I assume Cimarron paid them for our travel, but do I have any idea what our trip cost, or like what it would cost to like get us down here?
Make an intelligence check, general.
Can't just. All right, this is going to be. There we go.
You can click the word. Yeah.
I think I can. 12.
12. No, you don't really have any idea. That's not really your area of knowledge. So.
All right. Well, then we'll just guess. So okay, I take it from him and just say, perhaps this will come in handy. I agree with your assessment, though. It might be a good idea for you guys to travel in some other waters for a while. It definitely did not end the way we were hoping. I'm just going to pull out 10 gold. I have no idea how much 10 gold is in this world, but I'm going to act like it's a normal amount for the request I'm about to make, which is, I hope this helps. And even though you have a long trip, would you be willing to maybe start a few hours late? We might have need of you in the morning. If you could maybe leave closer to, say, mid-morning, early afternoon, around noontime, 11 o'clock, something like that, I'd appreciate it. If you don't see me by then, enjoy, and I hope that it helps you find some more men. But otherwise, we'll stop by before you guys head out in the morning.
He looks very confused, and he
Yep.
seems to. He doesn't turn down. He takes your money, and he kind of cocks his head a little and stick around until mid-morning.
We have some business with the fishermen. From what I hear, they start before the sun does. So by mid-morning, we should be done with whatever that business is. And if we need you, maybe to have a conversation before you leave, then we'll stop by. Otherwise, if you don't see us by mid-morning, you're free to go. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, I don't mind doing that. It's a long trip, so a couple hours isn't going to make a difference. I'm sure the men wouldn't mind sleeping in a bit. But if we don't hear from you by mid-morning, then we'll assume everything's fine, and we're going to make way.
Understood.
Safe travels to you, Finadil.
You too, Captain.
And he walks off into the dark. Kins, you're at the bar, and you are looking over, kind of like casually observing the conversation that Jeshi and Thorkum are having with this guy. It's been about an hour since they've started talking. There's been a lot of drinking. You can tell that the previously sort of very reserved Cobb has become a bit more animated. You know, he's talking with his hands a bit more. A couple times he's like fallen forward a little bit. Jeshi, you've had to kind of catch him, and but you can see that they seem to be having a fine time over there. What do you want to do?
Does Kins feel that it would be safe for her to go over since they're having a jolly old time?
That's up to you.
Okay. Well, Kins will flag down Emmy for a round of beers for all of us to enable the situation, to take over to the table and make a friendly gesture of offering of beer.
Okay, so you walk over with like a bunch of beers, put them down on the table. He kind of looks up and he says, "Oh, it's another one of your companions. Welcome. We were just having a conversation. I've heard that you can turn into some sort of great beast. Is that true?"
If needed, which was necessary tonight, but yeah, I mean it's part of what I do.
And he kind of leans back and he smirks a little bit and he says, "If we're to go on my ship and you're to turn into some great beast, well, how would that work exactly?" And he's very drunk at this point. He seems to be like trying to figure stuff out in his head, and he kind of looks over and Vin, you walk back in at this point. He kind of looks over and he kind of squints a little. And he kind of says, "It's been a long night, and we get up very early here. So, tomorrow morning, right before dawn is when we leave. My granddaughter will be coming with us, and we will be sailing for Burnt Ledge. When we round the ledge, you're going to see the biggest, fiercest, most dangerous storm on the seas I can guarantee you've ever seen up close. The waves are going to be crashing over the bow. You'll be lucky if you can hold on and aren't washed overboard yourself. The rocking of the seas, just keeping the boat from capsizing, it will take everything I've got. And then that's just to get to the edge of the storm. And you want to go through it, do you? Well, that'll be something else. I can't guarantee you I can get you that close, but If that's what it's gonna take to keep this fucking place from falling apart, then I will do my part. Be at my boat an hour before dawn. If you're not there, I'm going fishing without you. And I'm going to get a bit of sleep. It's going to be a long day. and he
right.
kind of stands up. And manages after about 30 seconds to kind of get his footing, and he finally kind of composes himself. And he's got this, like, when he stands, he's a bit hunched over. You know, he's probably about 5.5 feet tall, but with the hunch in his back, and he's just this like wide, sort of super thick, strong guy. He almost resembles a dwarf from like a certain angle, and he just sort of starts walking, and like there's a bunch of just patrons in the tavern just kind of drinking, and he literally just like grumbles, and they all kind of like everybody just makes way for this guy as he kind of stumbles through the tavern and towards the door, and stops and gives kind of a sidelong glance at 14, just really confused and which you're used to at this point, and then he makes his way outside. You guys are now in the tavern, and what would you like to do?
Oh, so I heard lots of that, but okay, it seems that we're going on the boat. Nice work.
Yeah, he's a good guy. You
Yeah.
know, something my grandparents were always the happiest when they were reminded that they were grandparents. It's the thing that they liked the most. I always asked them about their home, and they just wanted to talk about me. I never understood that.
Yeah, I guess
So
family's important to everybody. So
Kins
I'm
kind
pretty
of
drunk. I'm
Kins
going to
kind of
bed.
looks down as y'all are talking about family.
Yeah.
yeah, so what? Okay, I guess Thorkim tells us like times and stuff. What? We're doing this thing. He's taking us.
Yeah, she convinced him before dawn.
All right. Well, I didn't say anything specific to Rain, so if this actually happens, they'll just head out. If we have any issues in the morning, we've still got a plan B.
So, is everyone retiring for the night?
Oh yeah. I'm
Okay.
gonna be face down.
It has been a long day, and everybody makes their way upstairs. It's not too hard to get a nice long night of sleep. You wake up at the appropriate time. It's actually not hard to wake up because pretty much the whole village gets up pretty early, as most of them are fishermen. So you can actually.
Can I just say, as we're going to bed, probably hiccup, I'll say to Kins, you should meet my grandparents. Good night.
Bye.
God, there's a tree in my room. Whatever.
Oh yeah, you're gonna want to trim that a bit.
Okay.
You have to crawl around this like weird tree that's growing out of your
I think
bed.
I'm just sleeping on the bed and like my hand is on one of the branches and I'm like,
You're just like, yeah. You wake up the next morning and the fishermen are out and about. You can hear kind of shouting. The tavern itself is on the main sort of Harborview Drive that is right on the water. So you're awoken just by the sounds of people outside getting ready to go out, and the sun is yet to set. But you're starting to kind of see the orange glow on the horizon. It takes you about, I'd say, half hour to collect yourselves, get a bite to eat, and then make the walk all the way down to the end of the dock. And when you get there, sure enough, you see Cobb is on the ship already. They see, and Velma is there as well. And it's just the two of them, and they are working. They're getting gear ready. You can see that there's some crates that they're kind of loading, or barrels rather, that they're loading onto the boat. There's also some things that are taking off of the boats, not quite sure what they're doing, but just basically getting everything prepared. As you approach, Kins and Belrissa, who's with you, you kind of get a glance from Velma, who just kind of looks at you like gives you the kind of wow kind of look. Cobb sees you approaching, and he looks down. He calls kind of from the ship as you guys are approaching, and he says, "Any of you ever sailed before?"
That's how we got here.
You got here on someone else's ship. That ain't sailing, lad. That's you standing on a piece of wood while someone does all the hard work. Have any of you sailed before?
Then no.
Have I sailed before?
No. No. None of you have sailed before.
No. We are generally quick learners. So if you need our hands, we'll try to help. Otherwise, we'll just stay out of your way.
He looks over at Velma, who kind of looks at him, and they kind of share this glance, and they kind of smile at each other. And he goes, "Oh, we're going to find out if that's true, aren't we?" And he just laughs and kind of starts shouting, kind of like, "Hey, you guys, grab this stuff, let's go." And he kind of is getting everything ready. And finally, he says that we're ready to go, so you guys all climb aboard, and Velma unties the ship, and you start to drift away from the dock, and that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Hey.
Sailing away, ready to see
Into happiness, right?
I'm alive.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was waiting for and then the boat starts to tip over and the lightning strikes in. That's where we're going to end tonight.
yeah.
Cliffhanger again.
Yeah, I guess we,
These guys.
We had enough of that.
Yeah.
That was great.
Man.
The well, Jeshi didn't die, so that was fantastic.
Thanks,
Yay.
buddy.
Yeah, that was some epic
Thorcum, good.
enlargement.
Okay.
You got swung at, and I was like, oh boy, could lose concentration here, but managed.
Nice. So we will pick up next week with the ship that you are on, which is named the Bastion. You guys are all aboard the ship. One half of this ship, and it you notice as you've gotten on that, there's all these metal plates only on one side, but it's sort of off balance. So there's all this ballast on the opposite side. It's a very unique ship, and you've yet to understand why. But seems like you're going to find out as you start to pull away from the docks and the sails drop down and you sail towards the jetties and the exit of the harbor. So next week we're going to find out what's up with this storm, what's up with this island, and we're going to see if any of you can learn quickly, as Vinadil put it.
Just how much Thorcum gets seasick, we'll see.
Thank you everybody
Thanks,
for
Jay,
watching.
that was awesome.
And we'll be live again this weekend, Saturday or Sunday. Just keep an eye on the channel. If you're not already in our Discord, in chat, just type !Discord. It'll give you a link. Come join the server. Come chat with us. Hang out. Talk about the game. And we will post links there on when we're going live this weekend. Like I said in the beginning, we typically do like just a hangout session, kind of an after show, if you will. Q&A if you guys have questions, want to know more about the characters or about the world that these characters are in. And until next week, good luck with your bad plans.
Everybody.